Okay, we got the greatest comeback in gaming abandoned from Burnout Jack about Star Wars Battlefront 2. Okay, let me see.
How did it come to this? Battlefront 2 is, and will forever remain, one of my favorite games of all time.
Hmm,
Its story transcends gaming as one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
really?
Very few games can suffer a catastrophe the size of Battlefront 2's launch and recover in the spectacular way that it did.
I mean, did it ever recover? I mean, well, let me see. Well, this is probably from the perspective of like a console person, but let me see. Steam charts, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Is this the one? I doubt it. I mean, whatever. 2K all time peak 10. All. Wait, 2020. Oh no, this has to go like further back because this is saying it was released in 2017, but Steam is only picking up like 2020. But whatever. Okay. Bro, I remember the main thing that everyone was pissed about was in the beginning, like the first week or so, 2 weeks or a month or whatever, people were, as people were playing the game, everybody was absolutely pissed once somebody on Reddit figured out and did the math about how many hours it was supposed to theoretically take to unlock all the heroes for like for multiplayer or whatever. And I forgot how long it took. It was supposed to be like what 20, 30 years or something like that. I forgot. But it, like supposedly even now it was even longer than it would be even longer than 10 years. Like you would still be playing the game trying to accumulate points to unlock the heroes or however you unlock them with the loot boxes that they had. And it had the most downvoted comment in like Reddit history of like something along the lines of like a developer, and I think that set a precedence too of like developers answering anything publicly anymore to try to justify whatever game thing that they did. Um, Pride and accomplishment, that was the justification on why things took so insanely long, and it had like a world record level of like downvotes. It was hilarious, but I don't think honestly it ever came back from that. Like, bro, once a game comes out and people quickly discover how bad it is, it's super like it's very rare that that game will ever recover to reach its like day one like player numbers again, like if ever at all. Like other good games are like No Man's Sky kind of recovered. Was it Cyberpunk 2077 kind of recovered? But still, you have one chance at a first impression, and that's all you get. And if that first impression is wasted because of your bonehead decisions in the beginning of a game's a life cycle, then that's what gamers are going to remember. You know, only the hardcore fans will stick around, but those are so few and far between.
For years, this game hasn't just been a hobby for me, it's been a habit. No matter what other games I play,
Ooh, we got Fallout, Titanfall, Sea of Thieves, RDR, World War II.
I always come back, jump into a capital supremacy match or a galactic assault game, and just
Nice.
lose myself in the cinematic brilliance that is Battlefront 2. But as the years go on, matches have become harder and harder to find.
That is normal for games. Oh, wait. As time goes on, it's harder and harder to find for games. Well, yeah, that's the life cycle of all games, dude. Um, just naturally, like as a game, flashbang. Sorry, as a game goes on, like in the beginning, the player number will spike up, and it just goes like this. And then there might be like a season release, and then it goes back down. And then it spikes up again for some content or whatever, but then it just goes down. And it keeps going down. The trend is down. The trend is always down. It is what it is.
The game's peak has long since passed.
Yeah.
While the community has kept it alive for far more years than anyone expected.
Oh yeah. Like anytime I see nothing but good things. Like anything like related to Star Wars Battlefront 2. And it mostly comes from I think the unofficial competitive community from this game with like hero v hero, or I don't know like what the competitive mode is, but like a random match will pop up on my feed and I'm like, oh, what's this? I'm like, oh, this game's still alive and kicking with some people playing it. I'm like, oh, I want to watch. So I think that's great, because that's what the game could have been on day one if EA didn't fuck it up.
Now, it feels like we're watching it slowly fade away.
Yeah.
Once, you could hop into a match instantly. Now, you wait endlessly, only to find a dead lobby that never starts. And as I stare at this loading screen, these empty lobbies and long wait times, I can't help but ask, how did we get here? Battlefront 2 launched in 2017 with one clear mission: to surpass its predecessor.
With one clear mission, milk you of all your money and time.
This meant more modes, more heroes, and most importantly, the long-awaited return of the Clone Wars era. Now, I remember the months leading up to this launch vividly. Every new trailer left me in awe. Every gameplay showcase looked like a dream come true. This was the Star Wars game we had been waiting for. The one that would finally justify the years of silence and disappointments.
Yeah.
In a way, it did fulfill that prophecy.
Yeah.
Eventually. But on launch day, our worst fears were realized.
Yep.
Battlefront 2 had fully committed itself to the dark side of gaming.
Yep.
Do you really think that I'm gonna play this piece of shit?
EA doesn't give a single fuck about.
Oh, I remember. I love this, dude. Bro, this was a crazy day for YouTube for me. Everybody was shitting on the game. Everybody. Bro, this was the beginning of the act of grave dancing. This was it. I mean, it isn't what it is now, but like back then, this was it. Like, who is this? Chris Reed. How Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot crate. The loot crate disaster got this bad. A look back at the past 6 months of baffling decisions. EA community. The intent is to provide players with a sense of, here it is, sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. Oh, as for the
about you or the player experience.
Oh, look at the number. Almost 700K. It's over 650K plus. As for the cost, we selected initial values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Don't blame us, guys. Blame the data. Oh my god, it's not our fault. You guys are bad. Among other things, we're looking at average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis. And we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course, attainable via gameplay. This is not good. The reason this is not good is because the type of player that is playing an open beta is a hardcore player. Hardcore players have nothing but time. Casual players, which make up the majority of all games, have a little bit of time. Okay? That's what you should be basing your data and statistics off of, not the bro that's on there 25 hours a day only playing the game. But the data suggests otherwise. After Battlefront 2 mess, EA admits it has an image problem. No, EA has an EA problem. It's clear to us that players see the company differently than we do. No shit. An EA executive says long after the Death Star sized disaster. Whoever wrote that little sentence is a goat.
People are completely
From gamers
pissed off.
to EA saying, we're not buying
Oh wait, it
this.
was fucking
Like,
EA.
this is garbage.
Oh, is that the apology? Is this the Battlefront 2 apology? Is this one of the ones that... Oh, yeah. This was never our intention. Sorry, we didn't get this right. Oh, this is in the collage. This is in the sorry collage. For sure, dude. I hope whoever is keeping that or has maintained the original one it keeps it and only adds on to it, because that is actual hard proof and evidence that devs don't know what they're doing sometimes.
When Battlefront 2 released its trial version prior to launch, it shook the gaming community to its core.
Yeah.
Never before had a game so large been so blatant with its greed. The game
Because the core gameplay of this game was actually really good. The core game loops, it was great.
was set to release with a heavy insistence on microtransactions
Uh,
in the form of loot boxes. These loot boxes would give you credits and crystals, which could be used to either purchase upgrades for your troops.
in 2017, we were already up to 3 currencies. I don't even know what any of these do. I see circles, sliver looking things, and like 7s. Why, what is this? I have 7s, slivers, and circles. Why do we have 3 types of currency? This is stupid.
Or unlock heroes like Vader or Luke, which instantly made the game feel very pay to win.
Mhm.
While these purchases seemed optional, at the time you might have thought, I'll just grind it out to unlock everything instead of paying. Well, it wasn't that simple. You see, at the time, unlocking a single hero without spending money could take you upwards of 40 hours. Unlocking
40 hours to unlock one hero. How many heroes were in the game? And then subsequently, how many more heroes did they add into the game?
everything in the game, well, that would only take you 4,528 hours of gameplay, or a measly 188 days. And if this seemed too long, you could always just unlock everything for a small payment of $2,100.
Was this for, okay, so maybe I overestimated to make it seem worse than it actually was, whatever. This is still absolutely horrendous. $2,000 to unlock everything. How much was this game at launch? 60, 70 bucks? I mean, shit, you want to talk about replay value? This is it right here, buddy. This is all your replay value right there.
Unsurprisingly, the backlash to this was instant and historic. Even when EA's team tried to explain themselves on
Oh,
Reddit,
yeah.
their post ended up being the most downvoted comment in Reddit history
Yeah.
within just 24 hours.
What a glorious day. What a glorious day that was.
And remains the most downvoted to this day, 8 years later. Panicked, EA scrambled to lower costs,
Somebody should print that out and frame that to forever immortalize it.
slash prices, and make progression slightly less painful, in order to save face before Battlefront 2's official release. But the real issue here wasn't just the cost. It was how the game had clearly been built around microtransactions instead of content. And this problem would go on to severely hurt the game's release, making it clear to EA that a change was needed. And change they did. Just 4 months after Battlefront 2's release, EA would officially remove all microtransactions from the game that
What
were
a
for
day.
anything but cosmetics, and would eventually do away with the microtransactions completely, which was a huge win for the community and a great step towards making amends. Now, this change gave DICE an
But the one thing that I wish this person would have done is like show the concurrent player counts. I mean, I don't think you really could because was this across like Xbox and PlayStation only? I mean, I just tried to look it up on Steam and it only goes up to like 2020. And we all know what kind of year that was. But if everything would happened in 2017, like oh man, I wish I could have seen like the magic concurrent player bases across all platforms and the decisions that like the player count numbers and the decisions that led to each subsequent one to see like how many players would return based on the decision to like oh well half the hours guys or we'll cut it in a quarter or we'll cut it by 75% and we'll just remove all the loot boxes guys just come back and keep playing. I really wish I could have seen the concurrent player counts day by day. Oh my god, that would have been so cathartic.
Opening. A chance to fight for Battlefront 2's future.
All of those years investing in business school, marketing, whatever else degree you want to throw on top of it, only to realize that the consumer base doesn't care. Just make a good product. Don't try to milk them for everything they're worth.
Future and turn it into the revolutionary Star Wars game it was always meant to be. But the road ahead wouldn't be easy. The damage was done.
Yeah.
The game's reputation was in shambles.
Oh yeah.
And winning back players would take a lot more than just removing the loot boxes.
I mean, I honestly don't think it ever returned to normalcy. It was probably like a fraction of what it could have been. Like if anything, it was probably it would hover around like if on like week 1 was like 100% of like the player base, it probably settled to about 10 or 20% of that 100% and just stayed there, or maybe like that like just cruised and like just went the standard like trending down type of pattern.
Battlefront 2 needed constant updates, a complete overhaul of its progression system, and most importantly, time. In 2018, DICE took its first major step towards redemption.
Damn.
By making a
It took them a year. It took them a year. Oh my god.
move that would instantly win back goodwill and fix one of the game's most frustrating mechanics. All heroes were now unlocked for everyone. No more grinding, no more paywalls, just pure battle fun.
Surely they refunded everybody that paid money to unlock those heroes in the beginning. Surely they refunded them. I don't think they did, guys. I don't think they refunded anything. That's why you cannot go back on some of these decisions, because the moment you do, the moment you add catch-up mechanics, the moment you add free things, you invalidate everything else that previous players have gave you. Players that paid money for all that shit. All the people that, all the whales that paid money to get all those heroes and stuff, they're out of there. It's like, well, fuck this. You're just gonna give everything to everyone for free where I had to pay? Bro, if I was a whale and I saw my game did that, I would be absolutely pissed and just leave. Go to a different game. Are you kidding me?
And that was just the beginning. Over the next year, DICE delivered on everything we had wanted from day one. They brought in long-awaited heroes like Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Grievous. They didn't just add maps, they gave us entire planets, from Geonosis to Crate to Felucia. The game was finally starting to feel whole. But then, they went even further. DICE introduced Capital Supremacy, a mode that, in hindsight, feels like it should have been in the game from the very start. A good majority of my gaming memories come from this mode. And
why is it that it took them a year to like fix the game essentially, when DICE is still trying to fumble fuck around with Battlefield 2024 like years later. They still couldn't get the game right. It took them like 6-7 years to like get like something that was playable, whereas they come in and mess around with Star Wars Battlefront 2. It only took them a year.
I still can't believe it wasn't in there from day one. It just feels
No, but I bet the store was working, the microtransactions were working, the loot boxes were working, the most important part of the game was working.
so Battlefront. And the updates kept coming. Clone Commandos, Droidicas, more heroes, more reinforcements. By the end of 2019, just 2 years after Battlefront 2's disastrous launch, the game had become almost unrecognizable. The content had nearly tripled, and the best part? It was all free. It literally felt like a new game had appeared in my library. The game we were promised. And at the time, it was amazing.
Too bad nobody stuck around to play it.
But then, in 2020, DICE dropped a bombshell. Scarif was added to the game, and with it, an announcement that this would be the final update to ever be released for Battlefront 2.
Oh,
And while Scarif was well received, one thought lingered in every fan's mind. Wait, that's it? After nearly 3 years of free updates, patches, and events, it's over?
which is not
The
bad.
game we had watched redeem itself, win back our hearts, and carve out a future for itself.
Mm-hmm.
Abandoned?
Yep.
But this wasn't the end of the story, because at this time,
That is the life cycle of all live service games. Like, what was this in 2020? Like, even right here, what was like the peak players? Like 10K? 7, 10? Whatever month, 2020. I mean, this was probably at like right here. At peak and peaking at 10K, and they like on Steam, like they're just chilling at like 2K. I mean,
Battlefront 2 was in its best state ever, and players were returning by the thousands. When EA Play hit Game Pass in 2021, hundreds of thousands of new players flooded in, pushing
really? Hundreds of thousands on Game Pass? I'm just gonna take that to mean maybe a little over 100,000 at best. I don't know the actual numbers. On Xbox, like there's no way you can know. Like, has Xbox or Sony or Nintendo ever released like their concurrent players for any games? I mean, how do you know it's hundreds of thousands? Just because you get like an Insta match?
the game to its highest player count ever. This was
Or
Battlefront
was there like a little thing that said like players online right now?
2's golden era. Man, you could feel it. Instant matchmaking, massive clans recruiting new members, tournaments, modders creating endless new content.
You're offline. I'm not really seeing anywhere where it says like players online, go online. Well, I think it's offline right now.
For a time, this was the peak of Star Wars gaming, and nothing since has even come close. But as with all great things, without love and care, they eventually wither. Yes, the Battlefront 2 community is resilient. The game has lived on for years, and honestly, I've never really stopped playing. But now? Well, the player base is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
You can't always just hop in and instantly find a match anymore. Waiting times are getting longer and longer, and for the first time, I'm starting to worry. How much time does Battlefront 2 really have left? How long until it joins games like Squadrons or Battlefront 1, where fighting a match is only possible with coordination and luck? But what makes this so much worse is knowing exactly why the game was abandoned. EA pulled DICE off of Battlefront 2 for what they believed would be their next great game.
Yeah. Everybody was there for the day, the week that this got released. But I mean, was Star Wars was Battlefront 2, it was supposed to be marketed as a live service game, right? That only lasted like what, 3-4 years? I mean it's still on right now. It's still on, but like this is 5 years after the 2020 update. Of course you're gonna, and understandably this is only on PC, but like of the moment the players get a hold of like, oh, this is the last update, then we're getting nothing else for a live service game, it's only down. It's only downtrending, down arrow. So you can have some games that don't do updates but will still retain an online presence. Probably my best examples would probably be like fighting games. Like in the beginning of a life cycle of a fighting game, there's like a couple balance patches to try to, and then you got the balance patches, then you got the character releases, then more balance patches. But after that last character comes out, dude, it's like it's only gonna go down.
Battlefield 2042. In hindsight, that decision stings so much more.
Oh yeah.
We lost years of potential Battlefront content for this.
Well, the reason this picture is wrong is because there's not 10 hovercrafts like crawling up this building right here. That's why I know this is a fake AI picture.
A game that launched with missing features, bugs, and a backlash of its own. Knowing now that so much more was planned, it honestly sickens me to see how the game was left to die.
Oh yeah.
DICE had pulled off a miracle. They had taken the biggest disaster in gaming and turned it into one of its greatest redemption stories. But
I think they should have just stuck their guns out with Battlefront 2, dude, and just throw away, like, don't even come out with 2042. They should have just kept on going with this game.
just as Battlefront 2 reached its peak, just as it became everything we hoped for, support was ripped away. And the worst part, DICE's success wasn't in vain. Battlefront 2 is now beloved, praised, a game that has thousands of glowing reviews, and is remembered not for where it started, but for what it became. And yet, that only makes its fate hurt even more. Battlefront 2 deserved more.
It did.
It deserved to keep going, deserved to live through its success and bask in its own triumph.
Again, I will stick by this. This core game loop of Battlefront 2 was miles ahead of the game loop of Battlefield 2042. 100%, dude. More people would have gladly stuck behind this game than Battlefield. 100%.
But now, all we're left with is two questions that will haunt fans forever. What could have been? And how long do we have left?
I mean, it's just a coulda, shoulda, woulda type of question. You can't really go back and do anything. And even a hope looking forward to like Battlefront 3. I don't even think we're gonna get Battlefront 3 because like, what's to stop EA from doing the same type of bullshit that they did in Battlefront 2? I mean, yeah, did they learn their lesson, or would they simply come out with some more devious way to implement microtransactions into the game's systems? I think they would come out with some more devious ways to extract money out of the general audience if it were to come out.
Thanks for listening to me ramble on about a game I care so much about. While I am thankful to be able to play it today, I still find myself wondering how much longer that will be the case. I'm sure some of you might have heard that there's a movement going on to fill.
I didn't know. Calling all former Battlefront players to fill the servers. February one last time. Battlefront 2, join the servers. Who is this? 21st February. It's the 22nd. I mean, the whole community, without the help of the developer, is trying to do this whole Monster Hunter Return to World type of deal. I don't think it's gonna do it. Maybe it'll do something. Probably not though.
Filled the Battlefront 2 servers this weekend. And while that's not exactly what sparked my creation of this video, it is convenient timing. I'm really excited to spend time reliving the glory days. Anyways, I appreciate those of you who made it to the end of this video. I want to mention that a large percentage of those who watch my videos aren't subscribed. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers, so consider subscribing.
Nice.
It really helps and shows me that people are enjoying the content I create. Also, with a new year comes a new channel. And that means soon I'll be trying out regular streams on Tuesday and Thursday nights. So stay tuned and join the Discord for stream and video updates. As always, thank you for watching. Consider leaving a like or even subscribing. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.
Cool. I mean, yeah, man. Battlefront 2. It could have been a contender. I mean, we got what we got. If you stuck around and you were a hardcore gamer, then you got to enjoy what the game should have been on day one. But I mean, if you were like a casual, like most people, and you were there for like the first week, first month, and then you saw like how like stupid like all the systems were, it's like, why would you stay around? No, like I said, you only got one first impression for a game, and if you're not putting your best foot forward, I mean, why even try? But overall, cool video, and I hope to see more. But other than that, that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.